Hello buddies, it is Miss March. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do something I sort of hinted in another video, which is evaluating Sephora Favorites, or I'll share how my tips to evaluate Sephora Favorites, which are the sets that Sephora puts together with some samples, some full sizes from a variety of brands. I'm just gonna share my secrets. These are just my opinions. As I like to say, your kilometrage may vary. You may have other reasons for choosing things or other ways of evaluating it. This is just mine. But we're gonna get started. And part of the reason why I'm doing it is because I actually have one that I purchased so I can explain my thought process. And I also have my trusty iPad to pick a few others that I have not bought because I don't think they are a good deal. So yeah, let's get started on how I make these choices. So I am a Sephora Favorites fan, and I bought many over the years, and some of them have been really good values and sometimes just have not. And after doing this for a while, I think I've come up with a good system of evaluating whether I think this is something that you should purchase, or you might just be better off buying what you're interested in separately. So the first thing I want you to do when you look at Sephora Favorites is I want you to look at the full sizes. So I'll take this as an example. So when you look at this one, you see that it comes with 3 full sizes. It comes with the milk, this is the Fenty cream the gloss bomb, and then this full size from Huda. So I want you to look at the full sizes and see if you like them. Don't worry too much about price just yet. Just like look at whether you are interested in getting those full sizes. Because if you're not interested in the full sizes, then just skip the whole thing, because the real value is in the full sizes. It's not necessarily in the tiny other things or the samples you're going to get. So when I look at this one, I was like, oh yeah, I'd be interested in trying this, and I'd be interested in trying the gloss bomb from Fenty, and I like Huda Beauty lipsticks, so I would be curious to test this one. By the way, I didn't mention, this is the Give Me Sunshine Sephora Favorite set that comes with 5 lipsticks. So the first thing you're going to do is look at the full sizes and see whether you're interested in them or not. Once you've done that, then you now know, okay, this is something I should look more into. Now, the second step is those full sizes, we're going to go ahead and check the price. And the reason I say this is because sometimes the full size is a full lipstick, but sometimes, and I'll try to, as always, like put pictures. Sometimes the full size is a Sephora sheet mask that is $6. So I want to make sure that I'm getting enough good value in those full sizes before I go and look at the smaller sizes. Coming back to my example for here, I know that if I add, so this one was 45 Canadian or 34 US. But I know that if I add the 3 full-size lipsticks, I'm actually going over the price of this, because I think there are at least $20 each. So that means that just by getting this, I'm saving money because I'm not paying full price for the 3 full sizes. So that is a good value. But if let me see, I'm gonna show, sorry, I'm just looking down at the iPad just to show you an example. The self-care sampler set, for example, which is okay, like it's priced okay, but you're going to see that the only full size that you get is that Sephora mask. That again is $6 in Canada, probably even less in the US. And they do this a lot with the masks. There's another one, the skincare must-haves. Sorry, I'm just looking at the iPad here, and they have again 2 full sizes. Or maybe, yeah, 2 or 3 full sizes. No, I think it's only 2 full sizes. And one of them is just that Sephora mask. So like, is this really worth it or not? Sometimes depending on what the other, oh, no. I lost my Sephora. Sometimes depending on what the other one is, it still may be worth it. But if there's like, if one of the full sizes is a Sephora mask, I'm like, I don't know. Okay, so now that we have done that and we have established, okay, like I like the full sizes, and also I think that they are a decent price, or that like they're a good enough price for me to justify buying this. Then we're going to look at the smaller things, or the samples that you're getting. First thing I want you to look at is sample size. So sometimes you get like a decently sized product, and sometimes you get really tiny things. So I actually have some here just to give you an idea. So this one is 5 milliliters, and then this one is 7.5. So they're quite tiny. So depending on what you're getting, like it might not really be worth much. So I can't tell you, oh, like more than this, less than this, but depending on the product, you may want to look for that, how much product you're getting. I personally find that skincare samples not really good, or they have to be like a deluxe sample size for me to be able to get any benefit from them, because otherwise, how many times can you put it on before you run out? And is that a good, oh, just here, wear shadow, oh, there we go. Is that a good, or good enough time for you to know whether something works or not? For makeup, it's a little bit different, and I do find that for makeup, the size doesn't matter as much unless it's like one of those like ridiculously tiny lipsticks. But let's say, for example, you get this one, which I think is what you have in here too. It's the NARS that we got in the birthday gift. Yes, it's not huge, but like a lipstick lasts forever, at least for me. So I don't care if a lipstick is smaller. In fact, I actually sometimes even like it better, because I don't think I've ever run out of a lipstick in my life. So I don't need like a full size. I also have I have tiny lips. So the smaller ones work really well. A few years ago, there was a good set that I bought for eyebrows. Again, size didn't really matter as much, because I can still do a lot with that, and I can still, I use little product every time I use it, so that it will last me for a while. Something that's supposed to cover my entire face, it's not gonna last as long. So I want you to look at that. I want you to look at like what type of product and how much, what can I do with that amount of product? With that amount of product would be enough for me to know if this is a good product that maybe I want to buy in the future, or is this enough product to serve a purpose for me that makes it worth it for me to spend money on that product. Oh, again, I think that there's like some sets that come with La Mer, and it's like, again, this size, which is really tiny. Like, look, next to my face, it's really tiny. So that might not be really useful. The set that I showed before with the, I think it's called the self-care set. Yes, the self-care set. I actually looked at it because while it had the mask, I saw that it had candles, and I thought, oh, like maybe that makes sense, right? Because maybe you don't need a huge candle, especially if you're testing them. A huge candle might last like really long. But then when I actually went into detail and look at the sizes of those candles, they are very tiny. They're like almost tea lights. And again, is it really worth it? Like, are you gonna derive enough pleasure or enough like use out of them with the size that they have? So really look into, so what I like to do is I look into the original size, and I look into this into the size that is offered in the box, and see what the difference is, and really judge it according to what the product is. So there's not one size fits all. But one thing, or one rule that I have, is makeup is always a better deal than skincare, because you can do more with makeup. You can do more with, if you have like a sample size or a deluxe sample size of mascara, that will last you, at least a month, depending on how much you use. I was talking to a friend, and we were talking about how she goes through mascara a lot, like really quickly. And I don't, like, I haven't bought mascara in the last 2 Sephora sales, because I'm still using one that I had. But it's not like I don't wear mascara. Actually, I almost every day, but I don't know. I don't use that much. I don't know. But like, even like the smaller ones, that will last you a long time. But I do have to say that with skincare, I don't find it that useful. So again, we look at the big sizes or the full sizes. Do we like them or not? If we like them, we move on to the next step, which is checking the price and making sure that if we were just looking at the full sizes, we're getting enough good value with that. Because otherwise you're actually kind of paying for those samples, and like, is it really worth it to pay for those samples? So then we look at the samples and think, is this something that I like? Is it something that I'm going to use? And then is this something that I'm going to get enough of to get a good idea of whether this product is for me or not? And then you make that decision. So yes, when they tell you, I don't know, let me choose another one. The holiday makeup must-haves. So I actually looked into this one first because I had seen the main reason I had looked at this one was because the first picture they put in the Sephora Canada website was for the US version of this box. And the US version of this box contained something that is not sold in Canada. So it was like, ooh, I want this. But then they took it out. So when I look at it right now, and I looked at it and I gave it like some thought, because it had a beauty blender. So that's $26 there. That was a full size. It had a Kosas lip oil, which is a full size, which I have also been interested in trying. I've been interested in trying Kosas things. But then the last full size was a Fenty Beauty mascara, which I am not interested. So that already made it like the value go down for me. And then there were other things that looked interesting, but it didn't justify when you think about those products and how often we see those products as other things. So for example, it had a small NARS Laguna bronzer, which I know they got from like the birthday gifts because that was a birthday gift. They had the Dennis Gross extra strength daily peel, which is very, very often a reward for VIV. They had other things that might look interesting, but when I looked at it, it just didn't look like something I was going to use. They had like a little set of Natasha Denona like eyeshadows, but it also like looks so basic and so not like Natasha Denona like other stuff. It looks so simple that you were paying for the brand name, but you're not necessarily paying for good products or innovative products or something that you could test out. So for me, it was a no. I think if the Fenty mascara had been different, maybe I had other thoughts. But again, is it going to work for you or not? That will really make or break your decision. So that's why for me this one was in, because a lot of times some of those smaller things are things that they've just gotten from like rewards or promos or birthday gifts or things like that, and they're just recycling them. A good example is also remember the fresh lip balms. Those were everywhere and I hate them. They were everywhere. And I think that is because, again, they had so much left over because people don't really like them as much. So they just put them in there. So when looking at those samples, again, thinking, are these samples things that I can get in other venues through points, through promo codes, through birthday gifts? And if the answer is yes, is this really worth it? Is it worth paying for it? Because at the end of the day, unless you get a super good deal where like you know that the price of the full sizes is bigger than the actual price of the box, then you're paying for it. And is it worth paying for it? I don't necessarily think so, because you could get it for free or for points or something else in a different way. So those are my thoughts. As I said, your key metrics may vary. You may have different reasons for choosing things, but we're gonna do a quick recap of what I've said because I tend to go on tangents. First thing we do, we look at the full sizes. Do we like them or not? If the answer is yes, we go to our next step, which is what is the value of those full sizes? If we're still okay with that, we move into our third question, which is what are the samples? Are these things that I want? And am I getting enough of these things for me to make an educated decision on whether I like this or not, or to derive enough pleasure or use out of these things? And then our last question is, are these samples things that I can get through other things at Sephora, like your birthday gifts, like your rewards, like promo codes? Am I able to get this in a different way? And again, in that case, if the answer is yes, you might want to say no. So this has been my how to evaluate your Sephora favorites. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, or if you have any specific set that you want me to take a look at and tell you what I think. I'd be happy to do that. The one thing I did not include in my sort of like in this video are the sets where you have the minis and then you can exchange it for a full size, because that's a whole different game. And I'm still thinking about the value of those, so I'm not fully sold on those just yet. But if you have any specific sets that you want me to take a look at and give you my opinion, feel free to do that. I'm focusing mainly on Sephora because we don't have Ulta here in Canada, so we do what we can. I can't wait to hear your comments and to answer your questions if you have any. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in another video. Bye.